Today's David of Tzadik Aleph. We're learning about whether Rabbi Yehuda says only one of the legs is Gid Hanosh. The question is whether it's what he definitively says the right or he just thinks it's probably the right. So we're trying to prove one way or another. So we're up to the Gemara here about 4 lines above the wide line. Tashma, we actually had the Gemara 2 weeks ago as well. Tashma coming here. We're going to try to prove that if we hold definitively or not. Each time we try to prove it, we rejected it. Tashma coming here. The Tzadik Aleph Amud Aleph. Ochal beis gidin. He ate 2 gidin, mebeis yereches, mebeis behemoths, from 2 different animals. 2 legs of different animals. Now, why do you have to mention 2 different animals? If they're both legs, the right and the left, we'll see them in Seifik Pei, you get 80 malchus. You get 80 malchus because he did 2 averis. Now, according to Chachamim, had it been the same animal, both legs, also you get 80 malchus. But we'll see. Rabbi Yehuda says, "Eino Seifik elaboim." Rabbi Yehuda says you only get 40 malchus because only one of the legs. We'll soon see why only 40. But why do you have to talk about 2 behemoths for? Because according to Rabbi Yehuda, if it's 1 behemoth, you won't get any malchus. No. No. Two separate times, 2 avera. If it's 1 achil, you only get 1 avera. It's 2 separate, 2 warnings and everything else. Now, we go to 2 thighs with babes, 2 animals. Obviously, they're both. So that's why Chacham hold you get 80. Well, Rabbi Yehuda Itzach, and the chiddush here is that even though there's 2 different animals, you only get 40. Shmamina mifshep shitulei. So it's clearly from here that you get. Why are you getting lashes at all? If it's 2 different animals, how do you know which? How do you know it's the right leg? If Rabbi Yehuda doesn't know which leg it is, then why do you get lashes at all? Must be Rabbi Yehuda also knows for sure it's the right leg. Now the obvious question is why you don't get 40? You should get 80 malchus. My 40 look at page, you get 80. 2 animals, 2 the right leg, you get my skin, you're going to less make kazayis. The argument is as follows. According to Rabbon Tanakama, it's a beria. When we learned before that you have an ant, for example, even though it's much smaller than a kazayis, it has all the laws of a shear because it's a beria. It's
complete creation.
Exactly. So the argument is whether a Gid Hanosh is called a beria or not. Tanakama says it's the entire section of Gid Hanosh that's called a beria. And the Yehuda says no. It's only a limb of the animal. A beria has to be an entire animal. The time we learned ochlu Yehuda says has to be kazayis. The time of my why the right? It says in Pasuk hayerech. What's the Torah asa hayerech hayemona the right thigh? What is hayerech with a hay? It means the more kosher one, which is the right. That's how he knows the right side. The word ha. Nu Rabbanon, what do they do with the word hayerech? To kaf hayerech. Rabbanon lahuda pashit isura bekula yerech. Remember we learned before there's one long one that goes all the way from the top of the end of the spine down to the leg, and then there's another one that starts from, according to some, starts from the spine, but it finishes by the knee. It's called the Gid HaChitzon, or it actually starts from the Gid HaNosha. So when Gid HaNosha goes down, it's not at the full length. Hayerech means the one that starts from the thigh goes all the way to the bottom. That's one answer. He says, how do I know the right one? It says supposedly that Yaakov struggled with the Malach. So the Malach saw that he couldn't win. He said he touched the Kavarechai and he dislodged his thigh. When they struggled with each other, also means to embrace. Kind of strange. When you had a fight, why use the word behe'afkai? When you embrace your friend, you put your hand all around him. When you put your hand all around, you end up by his right thigh. So that's how he says Rabbi Yehuda knows that it's the right thigh. It says when he saw this malach, it appeared to him like he was a goy, and. So therefore, when you have a goy and you're worried about your life might be in danger, you always make sure the goy is on your right side, so you have your right hand there, available if you need to do anything. And then when the goy on the right touches you, he touches your right leg because that's closer to him. That's how come Yaakov's because the incident happened based on what happened with Yaakov. Therefore, it's the right leg. But then if you happen to meet with a counter or goy on your road, typically you make sure that he's on your right side. Having machlek is whether the Sar of Esav appeared like a Tamachacham or like a goy. In other words, it's written all the Musa Sforim that the Yetzer can sometimes come to you as a Talmud Chacham dressed up, some mitzvah to do this and this, which actually is wrong. And sometimes he comes like a goy, come have fun. Now, what is the Tamachachim? By Tamachachim, if somebody's superior than you, that they should be on your right side. So again, the Malach was on his right side. So when the Malach touched and dislodged his calf, it was your right leg. If you go on the right side of your Rebbe, you're a bur. It's not. It's interesting why you call it bur from a menschlichkeit. So Rashi says you don't have chachma of derech. You don't have the wisdom, of ethics and knowing what's the right thing to do.
The word I once used for bur.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's
Same idea. Says the Gemara, what do they hold? They say the Malach came to him by surprise. He hit him from the back and put both his hands, therefore he touched both legs. The Nashe and he moved both legs. Both legs were dislodged. Says the Gemara, my doshi. Since they don't learn anything about embracing, what kind of word is me'afka? It also means dust. Dosh be'meboy like it is. The other covered. That the dust went up all the way to the kisei covered. They struggle with each other. There, so the pasuk it says Anan Avak Raglov by the Eibishter. Hashem doesn't forgive at the end and so on and so forth. And the loud winds and noise he makes, and the cloud of Avak Raglov is his feet. That means the clouds. This struggle reached all the way to the kisei covered. The struggle between Esau and Yaakov. Why is it referred to as the Gid HaNosha, the Gid that moved? Because it moved from its original place, and the Olan went up. That's what he did. He dislodged it and went up. And we find, it says in the Pasuk, that that they were no longer strong and they lost their strength. They became weak like women. It says in Pasuk that Dover Sholach B'Yaakov, Hashem sent a plague by Yaakov, the Nafal B'Yisrael, and affected all the Eden. Dover Sholach B'Yaakov is the Eden, Yaakov is the one who was affected by it, but Nafal B'Yisrael was Pasha Yisrael. This Issa was passioned by all the Eden. Rabbi Yosef by Yosef, and he told him to prepare the meal for his brothers. It says, that's the mocha for Hanukkah, or the remez for Hanukkah, because the word ches v'hachet comes Hanukkah. But he said, prepare, shech, and prepare. So he said, I want you to show them, expose to them the animal that I want them to eat by my house. They can trust my shchitter. So show them that the animal geschochten wasn't just nechira, but the animal was actually geschochten. And as Rashi says that they kept all the mitzvahs, even though they were going. Then it says, what's for Hachain? Tul Gid HaNosha B'Fneim. Take the Gid HaNosha in front of them, they can see, prepare it, let them see that you removed the Gid HaNosha so they can eat. This follows the view that Gid HaNosha Nesel B'nei Noach. That even though they were B'nei Noach, the Gid HaNosha was us to them. So it's clear here that the Gemara, that because Machlekes Eden had a din of B'nei Yisrael B'nei Noach, and it's clear that Eden had then a din, the Shvatim had a din of B'nei Noach. And therefore, it's only a chumrah that they did about Gid HaNosha. So he showed them the Gid HaNosha. And Taisa asks, so, what's the most question? Maybe Shchita, he showed them the Shchita, even though they didn't have to, but he showed them the Shchita, no, they were very frum. So obviously they did the Gid HaNosha the same thing. He showed them that they want to be frum. So what are you saying here? That there must be, because Gid HaNosha was an Issa to Goyim. Maybe Gid HaNosha was not us as Bnei Noach, but they behaved like they were Bnei Yisrael. Even though they were not Bnei Yisrael, it's only a Chumrah. Why do you say that must follow the view that says that Goyim, Bnei Noach, for the Zayin Mitzvahs, we also have the Issa of Gid HaNosha? He says, but here it says v'hachedei. You just have to show them the shchita. Here, yeah.
Can you beat case? Oh, you found it.
Right. Please mute yourself, Gary.
Oh.
That this is because it says what v'hached prepare, as if without that they're not going to eat from us. In other words, Gid HaNosha, even though they were machmir to be eaten, this is not a chumrah. This is even as a bnei Noach, because they hold like the opinion that says bnei Noach is also. Yeah, okay. Or Shesha says that he showed in the base of Priya, not the Shchita, but Nechira, because they were told about Nechira then. Now, what do you mean they were told about Nechira? What exactly does it mean? That Bnei Noach have the din of what do you call it, of nechila.
But they're allowed to eat any which way.
Yeah, so this is an interesting thing. Look at this command. It says, "Inami portal b'shchita hainu nechila shenitztavu al hanechila." Where as bnei why were they told about nechila? As long as he said, "Shoot the animal." What happened was dead, the animal. So why nechila? Anything. And if as bnei Yisrael, and remember, kind of one opinion that shchita didn't start there when it's Yisrael, is Teisha saying that they had a din of bnei Yisrael. There was a more saying, "Command Domagin Noshe Nasa Bnei." So it's not so clear. But interesting, the Gemara clearly seems to learn from here that because the Machlek is Rashi and Abban, the end of Parshat Emor. And yeah, talking more about if you have time, I'll tell you interesting thing that happened based on all this. But he was Yaakov remained alone. He remained alone. He ran behind to get the small little pachin. Bekal tzadikim. Shechaviv aleim memoinam yesim egufam. Without learning chassidus, it's impossible to understand. Tzadikim are prepared to put their lives in peril because they love money more than they love their own guf. Why? The fish ain't pushing your damn begezel. Since they don't steal anything, therefore make sure everything, all their own contents, they take with them. Chassidus says because they know what their avodah is, have to be mile and tzutzis, the berurim, and therefore they really the paching time they have to go and do that as well. In all the the Jewish firm talk about the relationship to Hanukkah with the paching tanim. Vayavik, because they found a little pach of shemen. Vayavik is Yimad L'Shachar. He struggled with the malach till the morning. That what Yaakov's mistake was, he went alone by night, and therefore he got involved with this malach. From here, how do you know at night Tam Chacham shouldn't walk out on his own? So Naomi told her he was is good and that Boaz is going to be there and he's going to help win over the pile of Selim, and he's not going to go home because Tam Chacham is coming. He'll be there alone. He's going to stay and sleep overnight there in the garden. So therefore go there and meet him there. The rest, it says in Rus. So see, Tam Chacham doesn't go alone at night. He woke in the morning, and he went ahead and saddled his own chamor. Tell what he says, it can't be that's the pasuk, because we the Gemara in Pesach of Dal it says that from here you learn out that there's no zizim magdimin at night. That's why he didn't do it earlier, because Tam Chacham can't go alone at night. So he tells us, it's talking about more about that he went to daven on behalf of his doim. And nothing to do with the mitzvah. He went on behalf of his to daven, but he went in the morning, didn't go at night because Tam Chacham can't go alone. But they say another marker for it. When it says over there, Yaakov said to Yosef, "Lech go no to be favored." See, he told him to go by day, and he said, I want you to go at a time when you can see. Don't go when it's nighttime." A lot helped him. From here, that the sun began to shine. So therefore, again, we see what that only in the morning when the sun shines, that's when you should be going out. I'm going to once asked I'm going to do that. Yeshua be itli shel imum once in the marketplace in a place called Imum. They went to for the chasna. We had a lot of stories in the Gemara about this particular chasna of Gamliel, including the first mission brachas. It says vayizrach loy hashemish, that the sun shined to Yaakov. I mean loy. Why only to Yaakov? The whole would benefit from the sun. Why? As if to say that no, the sun came out specifically for him. How so? The sun actually came out specifically for him. And because we had another incident where the sun set early for Yaakov, as we'll soon see, and now it came out, and therefore to make up that time that the sun set early, it came back early for Yaakov so that he can heal. Rashi and Chum all out down. It sounds like he already ended up in Choron. And then it says that he came back to base Kel. He's already in Choron. What's he going back to base Kel? What happened when he arrived at Choron, he said, so he passed by the place where they davened. And we're talking about Yerushalayim, where Loika Avram Shekara Har, Loika Yitzchak Shekara Soda, El Kiyaka Shekara Bias. So this is this is base Kel. We call it a bias, which is Yerushalayim. Vanilla spelt, and I didn't daven. Can you have died to the Meder when he decided to go back? Koftuli out of that the Eibishter made that he had features of derech. He was there in an instant. But yeah, immediately as soon as he decided he wants to go back to Yerushalayim, he was there. Katzoli Boilemed. Then he finished davening. He wanted to go back to Choron. This time they came to my home, Yerushalayim, the Yifta Beloilina. And what? He wants to leave without resting. Miyad Bo Hashem, the sun came. So the sun therefore set. In other words, the sun set earlier than it was meant to set.
So is that what the shot in the pasuk by Yaakov is?
No, it said Ki Bo Hashemish. Yeah, why did you say by? We're first going to show you that the sun set early because of Yaakov. It says that Ki Bo Hashemish. Just say that the Shemesh is down. Ki Bo Hashemish sounds like that something happened now. Suddenly the sun set, like a sudden experience. So we're saying it set earlier than it was supposed to. Cadence manner, and then he got it back over here. But Yizach Lo Hashemish, the sun came out earlier because of his chus. Then we have we took from the stones. He took a stone. Okay, to one place. Everyone said, they all started to quarrel. Each one wanted. So that's when the Yaakov famously said, it must be Kiyimokim based on Makimi, that this is the house of God. So I heard many Rabbanim say that as he comes to this place, he sees everybody fighting with each other. He said, oh, this must be a shul. Tana, we learned. Then it all became one stone. It all became one stone. Yachleim, it's like Aleph from the base. We're going through a Gadata here about what happened with Yaakov there in the Malach. It says by Yachlem, so while he was at base, he had a dream. In the ladder that was based on the ground. Tana, we learned. How wide was this ladder? Shemainis alofim pasois. 8,000 pasois was the width of the ladder.
Parsa is about 4 kilometers.
Yes.
4 mil.
Yeah. A pass is 4 mil, yeah. The Chassid says, there were two sets of malachim, and each one was 2. 2 went up and 2 went down. So when this group was going up, the chutzlars were going up and so coming down, they met each other halfway. So now there was a width of 4, and how wide was a malach? And it says elsewhere when it's describing a malach, it says and their bodies is kesashish, like the taich, like the river Sarshish, and we know that Sarshish is today alfei parsahava. It was 1,000 parsa. If you have 4 malachim, that's 8,000 parsa. That's how wide the ladder was. Which yam exactly is referring to when it says Tarshish? Which yam is that? Doesn't say.
So it's very interesting. It says Vayipka Bamokim, and in that place he saw the ladder, but the ladder was so big, 8,000 parsa. It's 32,000 mil.
Yeah,
that's bigger than Hamokim, the one place. So it's bigger than the whole heart.
Kind of learned.
The river of Africa.
Which the name? That's 8,000 parsa wide. That the malachim were looking up in the Merkava, and on the Merkava there are 4, the 4 things on the ends. You have the Pnei Aryeh, Pnei Nesher, and you have the Pnei Adam, a human face, and it was Yaakov's face.
It's the Mediterranean near Tunisia.
What's the name of it?
Near Tunisia.
Okay. They looked at the Pnei Adam above, the Yodin, they looked at Yaakov down here below, and they became jealous that Yaakov was Lamaila and Lamata. So boilers couldn't, they were jealous, they wanted to endanger his life. But yeah, Hashem stood there and protected him. Not for that pasuk, he couldn't say a person who sees the sun is very hot, so he blows the fan on him. And the Abishah here stood on him and he protected Yaakov. You're sitting on my say, what's the chiddush saying the land is yours? The few amas that a person takes up 4 amas that the land is yours. He took the tire Yisrael, folded it up, and placed them under Yaakov's head. That's what he meant. Not just the 4 amas that Yisrael you'll be able to conquer. The entire Yisrael should be easy to him to conquer, just like 4 amas. Every Eid has 4 amas that's lying in it. The entire Yisrael will be easy to conquer when Yeshua goes. Then Malach said to him, send me wake you all Shach. Morning. In the morning you have to run back. What are you, a Ganif, or you, according to Rashi, Kivusas means a kidnapper? Taisha says impossible. Could mean other Gemaras we call Kivusas. Can't be Moshe ben Kivusas. He said it means a gambler. After Shemis Yadim and Shach, he's scared of daylight. On the day I was created, I will only have one chance my whole life to give shit today. It's this morning. I got to go. This supports Rav Chanan Nomarav. Shalosh Kiddush Malach shows Aim Shiva. Now 3 groups of Malach let's say Shira every day, but it's not the same group. Every group says once a lifetime. Achas Emeres Kodesh. One of them says Kodesh. Achas Emeres Kodesh. And Achas Emeres Kodesh and Tzvakas. And the third one says Kodesh Hashem. So the third group of Malachim, they actually say Kodesh, and right say the Abish's name. Makes a question. Where does the Malach have the schus to say the Abish's name after one's Kodesh? Chavim is all neged baruch Yisrael Malach Hashod. It says the Eden. It says, but I said Eden are more beloved to the Abish than Malachim. She saw them Shira Chol every hour. Well, Malach Hashod is ain't Aimim. They don't say Shira. They don't say Shira Pamachas B'Yom only once a day. The Amnil others say Pamachas once a week. Amnil Pamachas once a month. Amnil Pamachas once a year. Amnil Pamachas once a Shemitah. Amnil Pamachas Yevel. Amnil Pamachas Ba'Olam once a lifetime. We say the Abish's name after 2 words. Remember Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu. U'Malach Hashem Maskil Shema Malach. Give it 3 words because it says Kodesh, 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 and Tzvakas, right? The Kodesh says, Amar Kodesh, 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 and Tzvakas. And here you're saying that the third group of Malachim said Kodesh Hashem Tzvakas, so they only said the Abish's name. They only said Kodesh once. They Malach Hashem Mishil L'mayla Achiyim Mishil L'mata, and they have to wait for us. And it says Baron Yachad Koichle Boike, the stars in the morning, which are the Eden, we're compared to stars. And only after we say our Shira, can the Malachim say their Shira. So we're way ahead of the Malachim. But how do we come in Elokim? Eli, right. Achas Emeres Kodesh. This is what Chanan said. One of them says Kodesh. Achas Emeres Kodesh. Another says Kodesh. And Achas Emeres Kodesh, Kodesh, Kodesh. Okay. So one says Kodesh alone, but not the Abish's name. The next one says Kodesh, Kodesh, not the Abish's name. And the third one, who says 3 times Kodesh, only then can they say the Abish's name. What about Baruch Kvod? That after 2 words they raise the Abish's name. What's the mile of Eden that we after 2 words Shema Yisrael? They also say Malachim. My answer is Baruch Eifanim Hu de Amrele. They say that Baruch was said by the Eifanim. In other words, according to our Gemara, Eifanim, in Nusach Ashkenaz, if you look in Keilodin, there is a Srafim. We say Srafim Eifanim V'Chayz HaKodesh. They say Eifanim. No, we say. They finish with Eifanim HaKodesh. Yeah, they be Srafim Chayz. We say Srafim Eifanim V'Chayz HaKodesh. Srafim Chayz V'Eifanim HaKodesh. The Eifanim are the lowest. Srafim are the highest. They also say Srafim first, but they swap the order. And here the Gemara will say that Srafim is the lowest level. We say Srafim is Mabriya, that they get all burnt up with their bittul to the Eibishter. And there they say that Srafim, the Gemara right here says Srafim will be the lowest level, and Eifanim is the highest. Not sure how to reconcile all that. And look at this long case that talks about all the levels. Baruch, Eifanim on a high madrega. They can say after they can say the Eibish's name after 2. Have to say twice. Baruch Kvod. As the Gemara, once they have rishus, because once one of the malachim said after 3 times Kodesh David's name, so therefore it's they were given permission. You know what? Now you can say after 2. Once he said it once, now you can say after two words as well. It says in the pasuk, Vayosar el Malach. And they struggled with Malach, and they succeeded. They overcame the Malach, and they cried, and he begged. And we're not sure who cried and who begged. He begged, and they had compassion for him. Any day, me. Who became the leader over who? Who won this struggle? It says when Yaakov's name changed. So we see clearly who succeeded. Yaakov succeeded. That Yaakov succeeded over the Malach. But he cried and he gave in. Who cried to who? Is supposed by the Malach begged Yaakov, let me go. Yaakov, the Malach cried to Yaakov. You struggled. He says, you had 2 struggles. There'll be 2 great people coming from you. He wanted to tell them as well, you're going to go to Golus eventually. So therefore, he says over here, there's a struggle with Elokim and there's a struggle with Anoshim. Mekan never the Golus is a Golus. We'll stop over here and continue tomorrow in B'Tz Hashem.